Welcome into TalkFCB and welcome back here to the channel, guys. The build-up to El Clásico. It starts right now. This right here is a massive game between two of the heavyweights in football. Barcelona take on Real Madrid, live from the Camp Nou. It's coming this Wednesday, and in today's video, we are going to be looking at both clubs head-to-head, and in particular, the individual battles that are going to take place out there on the field, because we're going to be watching some wonderful players, two fantastic teams, but only one can come out on top, and we're going to see exactly who that might be with everything you need to know. I'm planning this video, a tactical preview, and a match preview. It is all coming up. It's all going on. Let's get started. And if we start, first of all, with the biggest head-to-head there is, and that is simply as a collective. Barcelona up against Real Madrid, and the very base stats there surrounding their seasons so far. Of course, both clubs coming into this game. This, of course, is the game in hand on everybody else in La Liga. Each team right now has played 16 apiece, and the points exactly the same. 35 all going into this game. It couldn't be any tighter. First and second in the league. Goals for, as you can see there, Barcelona have 10 more goals this season than Real Madrid do. But interestingly, it's Real Madrid that have been much more tight defensively. 12 goals conceded there to the 8 more of Barcelona. In terms of shots as well, Real getting more shots away. Certainly there, a significant amount more than Barcelona. But it's all about that conversion. Barca, for me, as we're going to come on to in this video, in the attacking areas, we've got great players, and we're putting the chances away. Passes on the side of Barcelona, we're always going to dominate in that area, with Real there just about taking fouls suffered and fouls committed. But Barcelona, a lot more yellow cards than Real, and the red cards there could be more to come in El Clásico. But as you can see there from the stats, it is close. In certain areas, Barcelona is certainly edging it, and in certain other areas, Real will believe they can do something against us. It really is going to be tight, and the key battles all over the pitch, they'll decide this game. And let's start first and foremost with two very important men going into a game like this. It's all about the goalkeepers. In a match this big, with so much pressure, so many big moments, one moment either way can swing this game in your favour, and that's why the goalkeepers, they've got to have, in these kind of games, the game of their lives. Marc-Andre ter Stegen in the goal of Barcelona against Thibaut Courtois in the goal of Real Madrid. And it's so interesting, actually, to look at these two goalkeepers, both of them right now 27 years old, entering the prime of their careers, and ter Stegen right now is unbelievable. Certainly for me, the best goalkeeper in the world. For many other people, one of the best, definitely. And it's interesting there, because Thibaut Courtois has already had that in his career. Earlier on, of course, during his Atletico Madrid days, and then again with Chelsea, he was up there with the very best. He didn't start well at Real Madrid, but recently, he has been improving, he's been growing in confidence, and he is now starting to deliver some better performances. And as you can see there from the stats, both keepers right now are heavily involved. I think ter Stegen, for me, clearly the better man with the ball. He can play with the ball at his feet. Already this season, he's claimed 2 assists to his name. For a goalkeeper, that's unbelievable. But it's Thibaut Courtois who just about there edges it for the amount of saves that he does make per game. But one thing can be certain, come Wednesday, both of these guys are going to be kept nice and busy. And moving on there from the goalkeepers, we do move on to another crucial area in this kind of game, the very heart of your defence. The centre-backs there are going to be absolutely crucial for both sides. And what better to put Sergio Ramos up against GERARD Piqué, two highly experienced guys. And it's very interesting, actually, because GERARD Piqué, slightly younger than Sergio Ramos. Ramos coming into this game, 33 years old. GERARD Piqué, 32. But right now, they're both out there with a point to prove. GERARD Piqué has not enjoyed the best season of his career. It's quite interesting because actually he had one of his best displays of the season at the weekend against Real Sociedad. That there came after he'd had a rest the few days before against Inter. Was that a coincidence there that Piqué producing good quality when he'd had some time away? Ramos, of course, in these kind of games, he's always there. He's always good for a goal. We certainly need to be on the lookout for him from set pieces. And when you look at them head to head, it's very interesting. GERARD Piqué, right throughout his career, I've always felt he's much calmer, much more composed with the ball, playing it out the back. He is as good as they can get in terms of ball-playing defenders. Then there's Sergio Ramos, who, like I say, can get involved in the other penalty area, but he does get about the pitch. Right now, I'd say he's the more mobile player. He can get involved a bit more in the defensive areas. You look at interceptions, You look there at his tackles, he certainly does get through more defensive contributions, but in doing that, I think he's more rash. He is somebody there who's going to dive into a challenge, he's going to make that forward run, he's going to take a risk, and as a result of that, he does make more crucial errors, lead into goals, and you always feel as though you put enough pressure on Ramos, you really run at him, you really target him, and in this kind of game, you could spring a mistake, and that would be massive. Massive for Barcelona. And this for me is one of the most exciting battles we are going to see in Wednesday's game. It's in the centre of midfield. Again, what will be such a key area in this game. It's Frenkie de Jong against FEDE Valverde, and I'm so excited about this particular battle. Both of them 22 years old, both of them there, like I say, in that centre midfield area. And it's interesting actually because obviously de Jong is a brand new signing, new at Barcelona this season, and although Valverde was involved with Real Madrid last season, he's really broke onto the scene this campaign. He's really announced himself. He's a fixture now in Real's team, and rightly so. I'm a big admirer of him. I think both of them have huge quality and so much potential looking to the future. And when you look there at the stats, you can see it is quite similar in some areas. Valverde does a lot. He has a lot about his game. He has a lot in his armoury. But for me, Frenkie de Jong does get the better of him. De Jong certainly for me is one of the best midfielders in the world on his day. And you can see it there. He's involved at the field. I think Valverde is allowed there to get into more advanced positions. I think Valverde does get more shots away. You can see that quite clearly. And he does get there more goals to his name than de Jong. But in terms of passing, in terms of getting on the ball, affecting the game, de Jong dominates in that area. He's certainly on the ball much more often. He's having double the amount and more of Valverde's passes. And in those kind of areas, in this kind of game, we need de Jong to take that control. And it's exactly the same when you're looking there at the two players off the ball. Valverde can add a lot there. He has good energy in that Real Madrid midfield. And it's interesting actually because you've got Casemiro who'll be sitting deep, you've got Toni Kroos, then you've got Valverde who's very much box to box, and Frenkie de Jong has that kind of energy too. He'll get involved too defensively, but I just feel there like Frenkie de Jong is more destructive. They got very similar defensive stats, but de Jong is somebody who can get about the field, who'll win those duels, who can dribble his way out of trouble. He is the player there who can make that kind of difference, and in this game we will need that. But the biggest area, without question, in this game is all about the final third. It's all about the clinical nature in front of goal from Barcelona or from Real Madrid. This is where the game is won and lost. And I think it's very intriguing looking at Real Madrid this season. Of course, they've lost Ronaldo, not just this season, but they did that last season as well. But this season, it's really been evident their lack of goals in that final third. Because usually, they've got so many players who can chip in and help out. But this season, you can see it there, nearly solely reliant on Karim Benzema, who, let me be frank, has been outstanding. Benzema has carried Real this season, and he's been absolutely brilliant in that goal-scoring position, and not just that either, in terms of assists too. And you look at it there, Messi, Benzema, both tied on 12 goals, but it's that big step down then. The next biggest goal scorer in La Liga for Real, Sergio Ramos, with 3 goals, whereas Barcelona can call on Luis Suarez, we can call now on Antoine Griezmann, who's getting more and more goals, and it's exactly the same there when you look at the shots. Suarez dominating, Messi, Griezmann, those 3 again. But for Real Madrid, it's Benzema, and then way down the list, it's Toni Kroos and Gareth Bale, who hardly plays. And in terms of assists, it is more balanced there on the side of Real, but it's Benzema again, who's topping that chart, topping that list, and they rely on him so heavily. If we take him out the game, if we can monitor him, big advantage Barca. And that there, guys, is the battles that I feel will be absolutely crucial going into this game. But of course, there's so many more. To be fair, 11 versus 11, there's going to be a key battle in every single area. Because in this kind of game, nobody can make mistakes. You make a mistake, quite often, you're going to be punished. You're going to cost your team the game. El Clásico, it's massive, it's intense, it's high pressure. But that is why we all love it, and that's why this game, it could deliver so much. But Barcelona have got to arrive. So much more coming up, plenty more planned, but this right here, it's the start. With those key battles, we'll move on then to the tactical aspect before finally the match preview will hit, and we will be ready. I'll see you soon, guys. Thanks as always for watching, and thank you for your support. But until next time, as always, Visca! El Barça.